From cemeteries to penitentiaries, we're going to discover 7 of Idaho's abandoned places. This is Brian Hymas. If this is your first video watching me, then I am a real estate agent here in the Boise Valley. If this is not your first video, then you know the best way you can get a hold of me is to text, call, or email me at the number on your screen. There is no greater compliment for me than to hear from you wanting to move to Boise. This video is going to cover 7 of the abandoned places in Idaho that are a little bit on the creepy side. Kind of a fun video, changing it up, really off the beaten path in terms of what might help you in terms of real estate here. But I thought we'd mix it up and have some fun this week. So stick around. Before we get started, I want you to tap that subscribe button and hit that bell. What that does for you is every time I release new video content, you get notified so you can be the first to see what the news is in Boise and what neighborhoods, areas, things to know are important to you, so you'll be getting those right away. Let's jump into it. This place is about 30 minutes from here in Eagle, Idaho. It is downtown Boise at the old Idaho State Penitentiary. Served for over 101 years as the state penitentiary. 10 executions were housed there. A handful of women were housed there. What's now the Rose Gardens was the place where 6 out of 10 inmates were hanged. To date, there are 30 historic buildings there for you. You can, if you've ever been to Alcatraz, you can kind of listen and hear a tour on your headset. Not the same exact type of tour, but you do get to relive some of the escapes, experiences, families, fights, all those types of things there. There are a few things that I do not enjoy seeing about this place. I would not visit there at night. It is my number 1 on Idaho's abandoned places of places you don't want to visit, while at the same time, every time we have company come into town, it's something that seems to get brought up all the time. Last time people were here, I avoided it. The only reason I went there this time was so that you can see it. So I hope you appreciate what I went through to get you those videos. It started construction in 1870 and finished in 1872 and served as the state penitentiary for 101 years. There were quite a few inmates who were housed here, 13,000 of them to be exact. 216 of them were women, and the most the place could house at any given time was about 600. When women started coming into the penitentiary more, they had to house the women at the warden's home. Eventually, inmates built a wall around that so that the women could be isolated, as that was causing some problems. And an interesting fact that I had no idea until researching, the Idaho Botanical Gardens sits now where the old baseball field used to sit for the inmates. And they used to play teams from around the Treasure Valley, so that's kind of cool. Also, the penitentiary cemetery is also on the Idaho Botanical Gardens premises. Number 2 on the list is the historic ghost town of Bayhorse. This is known as a ghost mining town in the land of Yankee Fork State Park near Chalice, Idaho. Mineral deposits were found there, and a lot of towns in the western United States in the late 1800s, this was found on mining. A lot of our abandoned places are based on mining. They found a vein of some good mineral deposits and settled that area. The mineral that was there was silver, and so that led to a little bit of a rush. Some of the charm that adds to this place, or the abandonment, or the ghost town, there are several smelters and mines in the Bayhorse area. It reached its peak in 1888, and that was the last full year of operation. If you go there and visit now, there are trains, and there are several trails for hiking and biking and exploring ATVs actually in the area. So not a bad area to visit. I just don't like any of these areas at nighttime. Number 3, the Albion State School. This place was established in 1893, closed in the 1950s, but what you'll find there are a few ghost stories. So if you're feeling a little daring, go there and stay there on the premises, and you can see ghosts for yourself, possibly. Number 4, if you're feeling adventurous, to head down a single lane dirt path about an hour and a half from Boise, I believe, hit up Silver City. Silver City actually has a number of buildings that are still the original buildings from the 1800s. There are actually people who still live there in Silver City who kind of keep up the area. They're usually descendants of those who lived there long ago. But that is a place I recommend, again, visiting in the daytime. Super cool. I have friends who have been there. I actually have never been there, but it is one of those places where I've had friends take dates back in the college days, and they would sit out and have a picnic under the stars, and guess what? It turned into a scary night, and you could say the rest was history, but all made it out alive. Now, before going on to our next place on the abandoned list in Idaho, hit that subscribe button and tap that bell, as I'm making videos weekly, if not more, that will help you in your decision-making process to move or not to move to Boise, Idaho. Subscribe, then hit that bell, and you will be notified as soon as videos are released. Number 5 on our list is the Franklin County Sugar Beet Factory. Franklin County is in southeast Idaho. It's where Bear Lake is. It's on the Utah border. The building was built in 1920, and later it was taken over by Amalgamated Sugar in 1960s. There is a sugar beet factory here in Nampa, so that was the only reason I knew how to say Amalgamated. Sugar beets were still being grown in the county up until 1976. However, it was pretty bleak, and so that industry died there. But because of that plant shutting down, we now have an abandoned building that can be fun to explore. Number 6 is the Pioneer Boot Hill Cemetery. Can you guess why they call it the Pioneer Boot Hill Cemetery? Because when these people were buried, they were buried with their boots on. Those are ghosts you don't want to run around with. They'll beat you, and they're a little bit faster than you. Number 7, the ghost town of Bonanza. A fire in 1989 destroyed much of Bonanza and forced most of its residents to move to Custer. Custer's a county here in Idaho. Custer County houses some of the most beautiful country in all of America, and I am not kidding you in the slightest. Stanley, Chalice, all that whole county is beautiful. I like to call it God's country. It is amazing. If you've seen the Jackson Hole Tetons, try the Sawtooths at Stanley, Idaho. Simply breathtaking. As you can see from these photos, the lakes, there's so many good mountain ranges, there's the White Clouds, all those types of things are amazing. But back to the abandoned places, in 1910 this place was all but abandoned, so for the last 111 years this place has been serving up some pretty good ghost stories. If you have been to any one of these places I've talked about, I would love an email from you with videos or pictures and your experiences there, and maybe we can add to what this video provides for the community. If I have missed a place in the top 7 abandoned places in Idaho, then be sure to write a comment letting me know where that is. I would love to see that. Also, hit that subscribe button, then tap that bell so you're notified when all these videos are released. There are dozens and dozens of people just like you who are calling, texting, emailing every week trying to get up here to Boise. There is no higher compliment to me than to receive those phone calls. So if that's you, give me a text, call, or email, and I'll help you out and get your boots here in Boise so we can help you become a true Idahoan. Number 6, getting really specific on the bay horse mining here. I don't even know what to say. If you don't mind, nope. And last, no, this isn't last. That was better than I thought I could do.